Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a really quick and delicious potato roll recipe. It's not actually mine. It is Mark Sinclair's from Sinclair Bakery. I've tried a few of my own recipes, but I could never get one that's quite as good as Mark's. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'll walk you through step by step. You'll be able to make dough in the morning and have rolls ready in the evening for dinner. Perfect for burgers or maybe a pulled pork barbecue sandwich. Hint, hint on an upcoming video. Let's just jump right in, shall we? I've got 585 grams of all-purpose flour here, and I'm going to add my dry ingredients to it. I'm going to start with 48 grams of white sugar, okay? I've got 14 grams of sea salt. You can also use kosher salt if you want to, but measure by weight, not by volume, because the granule is bigger with kosher salt. That's going in. And I've got 4 grams of instant yeast. It's going to go right into the dry mixture. I'm just going to mix this up, just so that my dry ingredients are all totally incorporated with each other and evenly mixed. All right, we're good to go there. Time for the wet ingredients. I'm gonna make a well in the center of my bowl. I'm gonna start by adding 134 grams of cooked and riced potato. You can also mash this potato with a fork. I'm using Yukon Gold Potatoes. Simple Idaho potato would do well too, but I like the flavor, the sort of nuttiness of Yukon Gold potatoes. So that's gonna go in. Next, we're going to add 200 grams of whole milk. Room temp is fine. Does not need to be warmed. Now, I'm going to add 47 grams of some of the potato cooking liquid. So don't discard that when you're done cooking your potatoes. Just reserve that water for the dough. 2 more ingredients here. Got 1 whole egg. Going right in, along with 57 grams of room temperature butter. That's about a half a stick, all right, or 4 tablespoons. If you guys are looking for volume measurements, just check the video description box below my video. It'll have all the ingredients and the measurements broken down there for you. Good for reference. Okay, I've got everything I need, all the ingredients in here for my dough. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix these ingredients together in the bowl with one of these dough scrapers. You see me using these a lot. It's a great tool to have in the kitchen, and they only cost a couple of bucks. So I'm just slowly mixing these ingredients together, kind of chopping that butter down, breaking it down, incorporating it into the flour, breaking that egg down. And once we get to a point where I can't really take it any further in the bowl here, so I'm going to dump it out onto the counter, just like so. Now I'm just going to start working this dough with my hands, okay? And it should come together pretty quickly after a minute or so of kneading and mixing. Just pressing all the ingredients together, and this dough will come together in no time. You can start to feel the moisture and the hydration as the ingredients get more homogeneous. Yeah, there we go. You can see that dough really coming together now. All right, this looks good. We have a dough that's fully formed. We're just gonna let this rest for about 20 minutes just to let the flour hydrate completely. Then we'll knead it a little bit more, then we'll let it proof. Okay, so it's gonna go in a bowl. Put a lid on it. We'll start back up again in 20. We're back. This dough has had a chance to hydrate. Just go out of the bowl here. Just take it out of the bowl. We're going to knead it for, I got too much stuff on the counter here. Just knead it for another minute or so, just to work the gluten a little bit more. Work the glutes. You can already feel like the dough is rising. It feels like there's air in there, you know? It feels kind of like it's puffed up a little bit. All right, it's looking pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my dough scraper, and I'm gonna push the dough gently just to kind of create some tension and tighten the dough ball up a little bit. Then I'm gonna turn the dough and do it again. All right, this looks pretty good. Next step is to get that dough back in the bowl. Cover it up, and we're gonna let it rest for an hour. All right, and then we'll come back. We'll knead it one more time, then we'll give it a proof. All right, let's take a look here. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. So I've floured the cutting board just a little bit. Pull this dough out. Love it. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna stretch this dough out a little bit. This is something that Mark does. I watched a video on him making these rolls. He stretches the dough out like this, and then he just folds it once. That's it. Just like this. And then we're going to do this technique that I showed you earlier with a dough scraper, creating some more tension in the dough, tightening up this ball a little bit. And that's it. Perfect. Now, this dough ball is going to go back in the bowl. We're going to put the lid back on. We're going to let this dough proof for about 2 hours. Should be about doubled in size when it's ready. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, it's doubled in size, all right. It's grown so much that it's sticking to the cover. All right. There we go. Beautiful. Now, next step is I'm just going to turn it out onto the board, like so. There. I'm going to divide this dough into 12 pieces, and they should be about 90 grams each. So I got my scale here. Just cut this dough down, and I'm just going to play around with the measurements here until I get each dough ball evenly weighed. Wow, that's perfectly 90. Now I'm just going to take these pieces of dough and I'm going to roll them into little balls. And how I do that is on the cutting board, I just rotate my hand and kind of spin the dough around, and I'm just kind of tightening the dough, creating tension on the surface of the dough. And you get these nice, even dough balls, perfectly round. Now I'm going to put them on a sheet pan, and I have parchment paper here. Lining each sheet pan just makes it a cleaner process of baking. So we're going to drop these dough balls right on the sheet pan, and I have 12, and I'm going to put 6 buns per sheet pan so they don't get too crowded. You could stack them all on there, and they're going to end up expanding and kind of baking together, but you can just pull them apart. And so if you only have 1 sheet pan, that works too, but I'm going to keep them separate and bake on 2 separate sheet pans. All right, I got 12 dough balls right here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover them with a damp kitchen rag, okay? And that's going to allow the dough to rest at room temperature and proof one more time until these dough balls are about doubled in size, and then we'll be ready to bake them. So we're going to let these guys rest here for about an hour, and we'll come back and we'll check on them. What do we got here? Let's take a look. Yes, these guys have doubled in size, and they're ready to bake. Now, at this point, you could just quickly brush them with some egg wash if you wanted more of a shiny, kind of dark brown crust on your potato rolls, but I'm going to leave them as is. I'm going to skip that step. I think they turn out pretty nice as is. So I'm going to bake these guys in a 375 degree oven for about 15 minutes until they're lightly brown, and they'll be good to go. All right, this is 15 minutes on the nose at 375. These guys look great. You can tell they have nice even browning. Bottoms look great. They're nice and soft and tender. Let's tear one of these guys open and see what they look like, huh? Oh yeah, look at that. Whew. Texture of the dough, fantastic. Super soft. Oh my God, I had to try a piece. Mark Sinclair's potato rolls. Absolutely fantastic. Tons of flavor, incredibly soft, incredibly soft. A perfect roll for hamburgers, pulled pork, pretty much any type of sandwich. You got to give this recipe a try. It's fantastic. All of the ingredients and measurements are in the video description box below, so check those out. Smash the like button, give me a subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.